when I was at school, the kids who were effeminate, the boys who were effeminate, who didn't want to play football and all the rest of it, the bullies called them girls. They said, you're just girls. You're not even a proper boy. You're not a real boy. That's what Mermaids and Stonewall says now. They say that's what the Tavistock was doing. They're saying you're basically probably trapped in the wrong body. Let's fix you. Like you say, between 80 and 90% of adolescents referred to the Tavistock Clinic are same-sex attracted.
Well, that's what they do in Tehran. That's the head of gender transformation, sex transformation surgery in the world.
The mullahs
which
in
is
Tehran,
really quite something.
The mullahs in Tehran and the heads of Stonewall are peas in a pod. They're totally, they feel the same way about homosexuality. Iran and Pakistan for a while, although not anymore, were funding same-sex change operations because they hang gay people from cranes. That's why. They get you get the death penalty for being gay. So of course they want to heterosexualize and fix gay people. But I would never have seen this coming. None of us did. You know, I've spoken to all these gay activists who've come out of retirement basically, and they're like, we never saw it coming. Where, you know, it's more dangerous now to be a gay kid than it was when I was growing up. Far more dangerous. When I was growing up.
Oh yes,
yeah.
So you guys were actually doing pretty good under the. What would you say?
We were doing all right.
Thumb of the Judeo-Christian fascists.
I mean,
instead of the tender mercies of the tea activist types.
You know, we had the government implementing a thing called Section 28, where they said that teachers couldn't mention homosexuality in schools unless they linked it to AIDS. That's not great. That's a terrible situation to be in. So there was that. So we had anti-gay ideas from members of staff. Fine. If you were out as a gay kid, which no one was, by the way, you would be beaten up. You would be bullied. Yeah, you would be abused, right? But what you wouldn't have is the figures in authority wanting to chop your dick off. You would, and that's so it's much more dangerous now. Like you wouldn't have politicians and the media and the commentariat and gay charities saying, maybe we need to fix you. Maybe we need to sterilize you, medicalize
so let me ask you a question about that. And this is one that's really, well, I don't know what to make of it. You know, just like the stereotypical guy who says he's not bigoted, I have a lot of gay friends, and they're people I really admire. So Bjorn Lomborg, Douglas Murray, you, like Andy No, you know, that's four. Those are pretty stellar examples, by the way. I have a sneaking suspicion, by the way, that the genetic configuration that leads to male homosexuality is integrally tied up with creativity itself, and that's why it sustains itself in the gene pool.
That is fascinating, if true. Put it aside, but because I've always wondered why you have this disproportionate correlation
that's the best,
homosexuality and art.
Another possibility too, which is that if you happen to get the balance between masculine and feminine qualities exactly right as a man, you are hyper attractive to women.
Right.
So that's another possibility, right? So you could think of homosexuality as an overshoot of that target. Now, I'm speculating, although I think the creativity hypothesis is a better one. Imagine that homosexuality is polygenetic, but it's associated with a much higher probability of creativity. Well, then obviously it's going to be conserved, even though it has, you know, lack of reproductive ability. As it has to be associated with something stellar, because obviously it would just disappear. So, and gay men are radically overrepresented in creative disciplines, like radically.
If you can get to the heart of why that is, I'd be absolutely fascinated by that. But that was a side point, wasn't it? That was a side point from what you wanted to say about.
Well, here is what I wanted to ask you about, and I don't know what to do about this. Is like, I think that part of the problem that we're trying to figure out is back 20 years ago, we did what we could to bring, especially male homosexuality, into the center, right? By legalizing gay marriage and by attempting to normalize it in some ways. Now, I think that left a lot of questions unanswered. So here's one question. It's like, well, okay, now if it's normalized all of a sudden, same-sex relationships, same-sex sexual relationships, where do you draw the line and what the hell do you teach children? And one answer would be, you don't talk about sex at all. And another answer would be, well, you talk about gay sex 50% of the time. You know, like, I don't know what the answer is, but it really is a problem. And I think we're dashing ourselves to pieces in some ways trying to solve that problem. And I don't know what the hell the solution in the US is take your kids out of the school system. That's what the solution seems to be. So, but I don't know what you think about all that.
It's so difficult because I think educationists at the moment are getting it very, very wrong in terms of what they're teaching children about sex and gender and sexuality and all the rest of it. And I think gay people are bearing the brunt of a lot of the blame here, So I think what's happening is, when you have drag queens twerking in front of children or stripping in front of children,
that doesn't seem good.
Doesn't look good. And because they have bracketed us all as LGBTQIA+, this is one big thing, then, and there's evidence, isn't there, that homophobia, or at least, I don't really like the word, but anti-gay sentiment is on the rise, because I think they think this is gay people doing all of this stuff. It's not, it's gender ideologues. It's gender ideologues who have taken over the LGBT community, whatever that might be.